Welcome back. Today, we want to talk a little bit more about LinkedIn.
Right.
We've teed up this series. This is the second in the series. And last time we talked about the importance of having an about section, how it's a really valuable piece of your LinkedIn page. Today, we're going to talk about how to make yours great and the power of that statement.
Yeah, people can get overwhelmed by the about
For
section,
sure.
I think, because they have to write.
Mhm.
That's really a vulnerable place to be, putting yourself out there.
Mhm.
So we are going to talk to you about how to do it and do it well.
And there is a specific way to do it,
Yeah.
but it's interesting. I will look up seasoned executives
Yeah.
and I'll see really crappy about sections.
Yes.
A lot of people just don't follow the instructions. So the very first thing to know is that the purpose of the about section is to tell your story in your voice. So unlike a resume where you're writing a little bit more, truncated, shorter, abbreviated, and we're not using a whole lot of color. It's very professional. In this case, you're telling the story with all the color you want, and you're telling it in first person. And that's a very big difference from the resume. So you are using the word I and me and my. Really important that you're telling the story.
So a good LinkedIn profile really gives you the essence of who someone is.
Exactly.
When you get
and the personality will shine through.
Yeah.
Right. And it has to be your personality. You can't have somebody else write your LinkedIn about statement because it's really got to come from you.
Yeah.
So a couple of rules. It should answer these questions. What do you do? Where and for whom do you do it? So it might be, I am a marketing professional and I have worked in consumer packaged goods and financial services. I've worked both in-house and at an agency. So that's giving me an idea. Okay, that's a lot. That's someone who really knows a lot.
Yeah.
That's the who, that's what I do. I talk about the types of marketing that I do, because marketing is a very broad field.
Right.
Where do I do it? For whom? I talked about the clients, I talked about the industry. And then you're weaving in, how do you do it? What makes you unique?
This is the part that really shows your unique.
Yes.
Like,
so some marketing people are really strong in analytics. Like their marketing drive comes from getting data, figuring out where things are popping and addressing that. Other people are more on the creative side.
Yeah,
they want to create a really great piece and speak to the customer in their voice. Talk about your superpower. Make sure I know what you do, where, for whom you do it, how you do it. And even this would be a place, I wouldn't put this in a resume, but why you do it.
Right.
What excites you about your field? People want to be around people who are enjoying their work.
Yes.
Right. Every about section also includes key skills. So often you can tee it up by talking about what you do, where and for whom you do it, and then say, here are some of my key skills and bullet them. Now, you know that there is a skills section on the LinkedIn profile, but that's just not as valuable.
No.
Because it's a drop down. It's like, I was at the hospital with my mom a few months ago, and it's like, oh, we're gonna check this box. We'll get some applesauce. We'll get some pudding. As soon as you can check, you check everything.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And the hiring manager knows it. So if you can put your skills in your words there in the about section, it's going to have more power.
Right.
And more
And
impact.
the most important skills.
Yes.
Right? Your
yes.
most important skills. You don't want to have a big laundry list splitted of like 10 different skills.
Yeah, like
it really should be
6 to 8 max.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And the other thing to that point is hard skills, not qualities. You know, personable, that's a quality. Hardworking, that's a quality. Organized, that's a quality. Talk about the hard skills, employee relations, benefits administration, criminal litigation, whatever the skills are, those hard things are there.
Okay.
And then the last piece of that about section is a call to action.
Yeah.
So it can be really short. It can just be,
I want to come.
yeah, let's talk about
energy to your company.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Or let's talk about how we can help each other, and then put your email address right there so that they can reach out to you that way as well.
That's such a smart little tactic
to
use, because it's all right there. And if you've got somebody locked in and they're entertained by you and what you're saying, like what better way? What better way? Okay, so the exciting thing about the LinkedIn profile, or the about section of the LinkedIn profile, that people don't realize is how portable it really can be. And the act of taking the time to do what you just said can be used in so many different parts of the job search. So let's talk about that.
It's so true. And so when you think, and that actually plays to what I said earlier about why they have to write it themselves.
Absolutely.
Because your LinkedIn about section is your story. You're connecting the dots of your experience and make them all make sense. This is why I'm such a great candidate, which is exactly what you will use when you're networking. So if Kelley comes up to me and says, tell me about yourself, I already have it because I wrote it in my about section. Now, you won't memorize it verbatim, but We do recommend that you memorize the chunks of it and
Mhm.
practice so it starts flowing off your tongue naturally.
Well, because very naturally, when you get into a conversation with someone, it is a back and forth.
Yes.
But you have this bag of tricks that you're pulling from,
Right.
and it all came from really spending the time on that about section, answering those key questions.
Exactly. So it's helpful for networking. It's really helpful in an interview.
Mhm.
Most interviewers begin with something very general, like, tell me about yourself, Kelley, or what brought you here today, Susan? So this is a great way to employ those same words, and they're ready, they're there. You don't have to try to come up with them in the middle, in that moment, right?
Yeah.
So the elevator pitch, that networking, the interview questions, that's still right there in that about section. So if you can take the time to write it really well, you'll find that it helps you in so many ways.
Yes. So there you have it, the power of the LinkedIn About section. If you liked what you heard today, you can like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have new content that comes out every Monday. And if you want to learn more about us, you can find us at www.preparetolaunchu.com.